This video will be a review of the Jaybird Sport X2 Bluetooth earphones. These replace the Bluebuds X earphones that have been popular for several years. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I do a lot of cycling, and particularly I use these for mountain biking. And I'll approach this from a mountain biker's perspective, but also just from an everyday use. Let me go over first what you get with the earphones. First of all, they do come in a nice high quality box. And I actually like when a company goes out of their way to make a really nice box. It shows that they care about their product, and it's a, usually it tells of a higher quality product. Even got a mountain biker in the cover there, so a plus for me. But it's a box with a magnetic enclosure. You get, let me show the earphones first. And this is a new case. If you're familiar with the Bluebuds X, this was a case that had a magnetic closure, kind of a clamshell type case. This one actually has a lid that pops off, and I'll do some comparisons between the two as I go through this review. But this case, like I said, the lid pops off and store your earphones inside. What's nice about these is they come in different colors now, so you can go on their website and look at the different colors, but I chose the lime green ones here. Also with the earphones you get the wingtips, and I'll talk about these two of course when I go over the fit and things like that. I use the medium ones. You get a bag of the little ear tips, and then you also get a charge cable, USB charge cable. And while I'm mentioning that, the charge port is going to be on the right earphone, and it's just a micro USB, and you would just plug it in there. It takes about 2 hours to charge, and once they're charged you get 8 hours of use with the earphones. What's new for the X2 is for the tips that are included, you get the 3 different size silicone tips like you got with the Bluebuds X, but you also now get 3 different size of the Comply Foam Sport tips. And Comply Foam is a game changer is for the Bluebuds X and now the X2. So let me talk about that for a minute, because if you've seen my review on the Bluebuds X, you'll know that when I first got these, I could not get them to stay in my ears, and I could not get a good seal. And for using earphones, the ones that go inside your ears like these, you have to have a good seal. And if you don't, the bass is going to be lacking and the sound's just not going to be that good. So I said in my review of the Bluebuds X that once I started using the Comply Foam tips for these, it completely changed my opinion of these. And so I am really glad to see that Jaybird Sport is now including the Comply Foam tips with these. Now, the tips that I have on these are not the ones that come with it. Comply Foam make different types of tips. They make the Sport ones, which is what comes with the X2. They also make some isolation ones, they call it, and the comfort ones. I personally like the comfort ones better. Both work. The Sport ones work just fine. I get a little bit better seal with the comfort ones, so I ordered these separately. But if you don't feel like doing that, the Sport ones that come with it are going to be just fine. If you're not familiar with Comply Foam, it's a really nice quality memory foam, and you would just kind of roll the foam between your fingers or squeeze it, stick it in your ears, hold it in there about 15 seconds, and they will expand and give you a good seal. And you know you get a good seal when you can thump the cable and it sounds like a stethoscope in your ears. And what's nice about the wireless ones is when you get that seal, you don't get what's called cable thump. So a wired headphone or earphone, if you get that seal and the cable is bouncing against things, especially when you're running or cycling or going to the gym, it can cause that cable thump noise, which is really annoying. With Bluetooth earphones, you don't get that because the cable is real short and it really doesn't bounce on your equipment, your camelback or shoulder or whatever. So that's a real plus for the Bluetooth headphones, getting the seal. So Comply Foam, game changer for these. Like I said, without these, I absolutely could not get a good seal, and they would fall out of my ears. It was really frustrating. I actually took my Bluebuds X back, the first ones that I got. I ended up getting them again because the sound quality is so good on them. I wanted to just try everything possible to get them to fit. So regarding fit, there's a lot of different configurations you can do with these to get them to fit right. I found the best way is to just run them like this. Use the ear tips to hold them in my ears. You can run them behind your ears, or over your ears. You would just turn the ear tips around. So that's one way that Jaybird Sport says that you can use them. It also comes with two little plastic cable retention devices, so you can do the cable like this and put it behind your head. I personally don't like doing that because I like the remote to hang down a little bit more. I like it to be where I can access the remote. So if you bind them up behind your head, that remote comes back a little bit, and it's also, I think it would be harder for someone to hear you if you're using this for phone calls. So to do a little bit of comparison with the Bluebuds X, the case for the X2, like I said, is a new design. The lid is sometimes hard to get to seat down inside. This is a rubber case, so it's kind of nice that you can just throw it in your bag and it can conform a little bit. So sometimes it's a little hard to get that seated down there properly. You just kind of have to get the feel of it. And then to get it out, you just kind of dig your fingernail down in there and pull it out. What's nice about it is it's easier to put the earphones down inside the case. With the Bluebuds X, sometimes I would get the cable pinched and you had to kind of work it in there before you got the magnetic closure to seat. Now, it is easier to open and close compared to the new case. So, is it better? It doesn't really matter to me, honestly. Like I said, it is easier to get them down inside there, so I do like that aspect. Let me talk about how the buttons work, and you can go on their website, and they have really good tutorial videos on their website. And by the way, they do have a very nice, high-quality website. If you're using it on a phone or a tablet, it's very mobile-friendly. So again, just good quality all the way around, from the box to the earphones to the website. So this is definitely a high-quality earbud. So the way these work is you've got your volume on the top. So if you're using the earphones like this, the volume button is going to be at the top. And what's nice about these, while I'm mentioning volume, is on the Bluebuds X, whenever you change the volume up or down, there was kind of like a skip in the music. So it'd just be like a really split-second skip and a little tone. These don't have the tone and they don't have the skip in the music. So the music doesn't cut out at all, which I think is a really nice improvement. So when you hit the volume button up or down, it's very smooth. So obviously the bottom one is the down volume. If you want to skip a track, you're just going to hold the volume up button for 1 second, and to go back a track, you would hold the volume down button. The middle button does several things. Play and pause is with the middle button. To power them on, you would hold down the middle button for 2 seconds. To power them off, Jaybird Sport says 4 seconds. I found it's more like 5 or 6 seconds to hold down the middle button to turn them off. If you hold down the middle button for 1 second, it will go into either Siri if you're using an iPhone, or it will go into Google Now if you're using an Android phone. I am an Android user. My wife has a pair of these and she uses them with her iPhone. They work great with both. So you can actually go in and do more than just voice dial. You can say, navigate here, or, all the things you can do with Siri and Google Now. You can get right to it by holding down the middle button. And what will happen is you'll hold down the middle button, you'll get a tone, and then about a second or two later, you'll get a tone from the phone, either the Siri tone or the Google Now tone, and then you can talk. You can do text or whatever, or just say dial this number. Also, to answer a call, you would tap the middle button as the call's coming in. You can take a second call by tapping the middle button. And you can reject a call with the middle button by holding it down for a second when the call's coming in. You can also mute. So if you hold down the plus and the minus, so the volume up and down button at the same time, that will actually mute your call. The X2, compared with the original Bluebuds X, has kind of a rubber coating on the outside. It just doesn't feel quite that hard plastic feel that the original Bluebuds X. So they feel a little more sporty in that sense. Everything else is pretty much the same. Even the shape of the earbuds themselves is the same as the Bluebuds X. The ear tips are a little bit different. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but they kind of are a little fatter at the top. And I found that they actually do work a little bit better to hold them in your ears. So that's a little bit of an improvement over the original Bluebuds X ear tip. But you can see, for the most part, the shape is about the same. You know, the buttons and everything work the same, except for, I said, the volume is smoother on the X2 now without that skip in the music. The sound quality is excellent on these, and it was excellent on the Bluebuds X. I don't really notice a big difference in the sound quality. These are extremely clear. These are probably the best Bluetooth earphones that I have listened to date. I've tried a few. I've tried several of the kind that kind of go around your neck, like the LG Tone, the Motorola. I like this better because they don't bounce on your chest. Once they lock into your ears, they really stay there. These are sweat proof. I had a pair of the LG Tones that I actually burned through. I think it was because of excessive sweat. I'm in Florida, and the woods when I'm mountain biking is just incredibly humid. So it's nice that these are sweat proof. Now, let me just kind of go back to the sound quality on these, because obviously that's very important, especially when you're paying $180 for a pair of Bluetooth headphones. The bass on these is really strong. It's not overwhelming. It's definitely not muddy. But you do have to make sure you get a good seal. And like I said, I get a little bit stronger bass because I get a better seal with the Comfort ear tips, the Comply Foam tips, than the Sport ones. So if you like a lot of bass, then I think you would definitely want to go out and purchase the Comply Foam Comfort tips instead of the Sport ones. The Sport ones absorb sweat a little bit better, and so the Comfort ones are, you may get some sweat on them, but it's really not a big deal. The mids are very clear. They're not quite as clear as I know I use this in my other videos, but the Dunu DM1000 wire earbuds are the ones that I use as my standard. They are wired. I don't work out in those. They're not advertised as a sweatproof one, but the mids are very clear, just not quite as clear as those, and the Dunu DM1000s are about $200. The highs are extremely clear on these. The first time I listened to the Bluebuds X, I was really blown away with the clarity of the highs on these. So pretty good mids, excellent clarity on the highs, and very good bass without being muddied or overwhelming the music. And as far as using the Comply Foam tips over the silicone, I think the silicone will give the mids and highs a little bit more clarity. It's not real prominent, but the Comply Foam tips to me do tone down the mids and highs a little bit. But I mean, like I said, I just can't use the silicone ones at all, so it's not an option for me. So you definitely want to try a lot of different combinations of ear tips, the way that you put them on your ear, if you want to go behind your ear or whatever. So if you get these, take the time to really sit down and try all the different options and see what works for you. It may take you 30 minutes to an hour of just messing around and figuring out the absolute best option, but it's definitely worth it because when you have these in your ears, they almost just disappear. And what I use these for, like I said, mainly for mountain biking, but I also use them for, I stretch in the morning, and if I want to listen to a podcast and not have it coming out of my phone in case the family's still sleeping or whatever, I'll use these. They're great for going to the gym. If you ever try to work out with a pair of wired earbuds, it's really annoying because you'll get you'll get them caught on a bar or something like that, and it'll just yank them out of your ears. With these, it's just like you've got the music and there's just nothing else. So it's a really awesome experience using a set of Bluetooth headphones like these. I had mentioned the kind that go around your neck. For going to the gym, these are absolutely superior because with those, I found that when you lay down like on a bench or something like that, or you're doing sit-ups, the device that goes around your neck can fall off Again, with these, you really don't have that. Call quality on these is really good. I've had no complaints from anybody on the other end of the phone that I'm talking to. They're not asking me to repeat things. And as far as hearing someone while you're on a phone call, it's also very clear. The range on these is, it's going to depend. So if I have the phone sitting in one room, I can go to the next room and it's usually really good. But if I go to 2 rooms over, that's when it may kind of skip out a little bit. So these aren't really designed to put your phone in the middle of the house or tablet in the middle of the house and just be able to walk all around. You know, it's pretty good. If a direct range, I would say you're probably going to get 50 feet or so if there's nothing blocking the signal. So really good range for what they're intended for. It's fine. The new X2 they have increased the technology, the Bluetooth technology. They call it Signal Plus, and it's just a you know, higher end type Bluetooth connection. With the Bluebuds X, I would get every once in a while a little skip in the music, so the signal would skip out a little bit. I really have not had that problem with the X2, so I would say definitely the improvement has made a difference as far as the music skipping out. So if you're looking for a high quality Bluetooth earphone, especially for working out, these get my absolute highest recommendation. They are high quality, excellent sound. With the Comply foam tips, you're going to get a really good seal in your ears. And Bluetooth technology has just made using earphones such a better experience than it was. If I flash back 15 years ago, I used to mountain bike train with a portable CD player in my jersey pocket. The thing was like this big, and you know, you have 8-10 songs. Now, using streaming services and things like that, you got access to millions of songs. With these, you know, just in your ears, and like I said, they disappear, and so you've just got the music. Now, since I have them in my ears, let me just say that even though they look a little bulky and they may look a little funny compared to a wired earbud, they're also very light, so they don't feel bulky in your ears. You will get maybe a little bit of pressure when you first start using them with the ear tips, the way they hold them in your ears, but it's definitely not going to be annoying. At least it wasn't for me. So, you know, again, they get my highest recommendation. Are they worth it from switching from the Bluebuds X to the X2 if you own these? I'm going to leave that up to you. Like I said, the main differences is a little bit newer Bluetooth technology, so less skipping of the music. The volume button is smoother, and they do come with the Comply foam tips. And also with the rubber coating, it makes them a little bit easier to grip and just kind of feel a little bit more sporty. These work fine. These sound incredible. No real change to me in the sound quality of these, but the other things that I mentioned are the main differences, and of course the case is a little bit different. So you know, I'll leave that up to you whether or not you should make the switch. I do love using these. I use them all the time now. You know, obviously for riding, but like I said, doing stuff around the house, even like, you know, when you're doing the dishes or whatever, with wired earbuds, whenever you're active, whenever you're using your hands and moving around, those are times when you can get the wired earphones caught on something. And so I loved using these just even around the house. So that'll wrap up this review of the Jaybird Sport X2 Bluetooth earphones. Thanks for watching.